All right, buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into Lorne Park real estate.
Oh, Lorne
But
Park.
hold on, we're not just skimming the surface.
We,
We're going deeper than those for sale signs,
I like it.
trying to crack the code of this whole coveted neighborhood thing.
Okay.
So, picture this. Luxury living, those streets you swear you've seen in movies, all picture perfect.
Right.
And we're using actual real estate listings. Yeah, the prices, the photos, the whole shebang.
Okay.
Plus all the insider community intel we could dig up
Love it.
to decode what makes Lorne Park, well, Lorne Park.
It's like, what is it about a place that makes someone go, this is it. This is where I need to be.
Right. And with Lorne Park, I'm getting a serious vibe of exclusivity. Like they're leaning into that whole luxury label, you know?
For sure.
And I don't know if it's just me, but even just looking at the maps, those streets, they're all kind of angular.
Oh, interesting.
You ever notice that? It's not your average grid. Like someone said, let's get fancy with the street layout.
Yeah. It's like they're going for a certain aesthetic.
Right.
It's
Okay.
deliberate.
Totally. So I got to ask, from an urban planning perspective, is that a common thing in these kind of were planned community neighborhoods?
It's definitely a sign of intentionality.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to create a distinct feel, and you don't get much more distinct than saying, our streets. They defy your grid-based expectations, which honestly makes you wonder, was Lorne Park always like the place to be for the well-to-do, or did that come later?
You know what else I picked up on? It's like they took the name Lorne Park really literally. All those mentions of park-like settings, mature trees.
Right, like they leaned into that image.
Almost like they were creating a world within a world.
Yeah, a little pocket of something distinct.
And speaking of worlds within worlds, can we talk about the communities within Lorne Park?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I was digging through this and I'm like, it's not even just one Lorne Park vibe. It's like layers.
Layers of luxury.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Like choose your flavor.
Okay, yes. That's a great way to put it. Like take watercolors, for example.
Okay, yeah, the new build community.
Right. They're all about that brand new, everything's perfect kind of lifestyle.
Move in ready, not a thing out of place.
Exactly. And Mattamy Homes is behind it, which, if you're not into the whole home builder scene, means they go for a very specific look.
Oh yeah, they've got a reputation for sure.
And their prices reflect that, starting in the
Good.
high ones, low twos.
Definitely catering to a certain buyer.
Right. But what I found interesting was how much they emphasized calm and manicured.
It's like they know their target market wants that sense of order.
Right. But then that got me thinking, does that come at the cost of, like, individuality?
It's an interesting trade-off, isn't it? You get that perfectly put together environment, but maybe less room for, putting your own stamp on things.
Totally. Then, on the flip side, you've got Meadowood.
Okay, yeah.
And this one's interesting because they're all about being this kind of secluded kingdom. Like, they even mention limited entrances.
Ooh, exclusive.
Right. And get this, they mention some streets don't even have sidewalks.
Really?
Which makes me wonder, is that a whole Lorne Park thing or just a Meadowood quirk?
I'm not sure, but it's definitely something to watch for.
Totally. And we can't forget they've got that lakefront property.
Oh yeah, prime real estate.
Always bumps up the desirability factor.
Always.
They also mention a museum, the Bradley Museum, and this whole maple syrup festival thing. So maybe they've got that whole community vibe going on too.
Sounds like a place with its own little rhythm.
Right. So if Meadowood is like the secluded kingdom, Lorne Park Estates is straight up royal court.
Going for the crown jewel, huh?
They are not shy about being the most exclusive.
Bold move.
And it's not just talk. They've got a whole resident-run association, strict building guidelines, even annual fees.
Wow, they mean business.
It's like they're saying, we've worked hard to get here and we're staying this way.
A community with a vision.
Right. Okay. Then there's White Oaks of Jelna.
Okay.
And this one, I swear, it's like straight out of a storybook.
Oh. How so?
All these mentions of towering trees, custom-built homes.
Ah, so that's where you get those high-end builders.
Exactly. They drop names like David Small Designs, like it's nothing.
Setting the bar high.
Right. And they list off streets like we're supposed to know who lives there. It's like getting an address book to Lorne Park's elite.
Subtle.
So we've got all these vibes, but do the houses for sale actually match up?
That's the real test, right?
Because we've got listings ranging from just under $1 million to well over $3 million.
Oh, wow. Quite a spread.
Right. Like even within luxury, there's levels to this game, you know?
Absolutely.
And that's where I think it's helpful to have some context.
Totally.
Because for those of us who aren't swimming in the Mississauga real estate market every day.
Yeah.
How do these Lorne Park prices compare to, like, the rest of Mississauga?
Yeah, is there a Lorne Park premium baked into those numbers?
Exactly. Or are there actually, like, deals to be found if you know where to look?
The age-old question.
So let's dive into some actual listings and see if we can uncover some answers, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, so we're talking Lorne Park real estate, and I gotta say, this listing I've got pulled up, it's basically begging us to judge its very expensive book by its cover.
Oh, tell me more.
We're talking over $3 million.
Okay, yeah, we're officially in Lorne Park premium territory now.
Right. Like, even for this neighborhood, that's next level.
So, spill the tea, what gets you that price tag?
Well, for starters, almost a full acre of land.
In this market.
Yeah.
That's got to be worth a fortune alone.
Right. And you know how they're always talking about privacy in Lorne Park?
Oh, yeah, like it's their currency.
So that, plus the house itself, they're calling it a modern farmhouse style.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
But, like, picture it blown up to the max, you know?
Ah, so none of that cozy cottage stuff.
Right. Like, I can practically smell the fresh-baked bread and see the, like, perfectly arranged family photos on the mantelpiece.
But, like, a really expensive mantelpiece.
Exactly.
It's interesting how that whole modern farmhouse thing has taken off, even a place like Lorne Park, right? Like, on one hand, it's got that traditional established feel.
Mm-hmm. Like, we've been here forever.
But then it's also got that modern edge. Like, they're not afraid to embrace new trends.
It's like having your artisanal cake and eating it, too.
Exactly. Okay, so we've seen the top tier.
Right.
But for those of us who, maybe don't have $3 million just lying around.
I did find a little something.
Oh.
Under $1 million.
Whoa. In Lorne Park.
Yeah.
You're speaking my language.
Right. Now, full disclosure, it's smaller, a bit older, could use some love, but...
But location, location, location.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quiet street, heart of Lorne Park.
So you're trading those fancy finishes for a piece of the neighborhood.
It's like finding a vintage Chanel suit tucked between all those designer sneakers, you know?
Oh, 100%. Still got that classic style.
Okay, ready for a curveball?
Hit me.
This next listing, it's a condo.
Wait, what? In Lorne Park?
Right. I know. I did a double take, too.
It's like finding a unicorn in your backyard.
It's like, are condos even allowed in Lorne Park? But it got me thinking.
Okay.
Maybe, just maybe, this is their answer to the whole lock-and-go lifestyle.
It makes sense. Some people want luxury without the upkeep.
Right. But still with that Lorne Park address.
So it's like they're trading in the sprawling estate for something a little more manageable.
Exactly. Which brings us to the big question. Who as the ideal Lorne Park resident?
Right, because it's got to be more than just having the money,
100%. There's got to be something else, some kind of, like, Lorne Park X factor.
Like, imagine yourself, right? You're driving down one of those angular streets we talked about, trees forming a canopy overhead.
Ooh, getting picturesque.
Right, and you get this feeling like you're miles away from everything, even if you're minutes from the city.
Total escape, but somehow still close to it all.
Exactly, and that feeling, that's a big part of the Lorne Park appeal, wouldn't you say?
Totally. So are we talking, like, that perfectly manicured calm of watercolors where it's all new builds and not a blade of grass out of place?
Maybe. Or maybe you're drawn to that lakefront serenity. The Meadowwood vibe, where you can practically hear the peace and quiet.
Ooh, I can go for some of that.
Right. But then again, maybe it's that old school, almost like guarded elegance of Lorne Park estates, where you can just tell, like, generations have strolled these streets.
Yeah, there's something about that.
Or maybe, just maybe, you're the White Oaks of Jelna type, right? Like, you want those custom homes, the woods, that touch of nature.
All while still having those high-end finishes because, well, it's Lorne Park.
Exactly. But you know what?
What's that?
Maybe it's none of these.
Okay, now you're really making me think.
Because, and maybe this is going to sound cheesy, but isn't that kind of the point of these deep dives? It's not about finding your perfect neighborhood in our list.
Right.
It's about figuring out what matters to you.
Okay, I like that.
Like, do you even like sidewalks? Or are those a deal breaker?
I never thought about it like that.
Right. Is it privacy over everything, or do you want that community vibe? Do those big, grand houses speak to you, or are you more about that cozy, tucked-away charm?
It's like you're getting into my brain.
Because at the end of the day, choosing where you live, it's not just about the house, right? It's a whole lifestyle.
Oh, it's huge E. It's like, how do you picture your life? What matters to you?
Exactly. And sometimes exploring a place like Lorne Park, even if you're not packing your bags tomorrow, It gets those wheels turning.
100%. Like, maybe this whole deep dive makes you look at your street a little differently.
Exactly. Like, what's that little thing, that quirk that makes your neighborhood special?
Or maybe you're itching to see these Lorne Park streets for yourself.
Take a little drive, yeah.
Right. See if that whole luxury living thing lives up to the hype.
Because, hey, you never know. Might find your dream home.
Or at least you'll have a better idea of what you're looking for.
That's what it's all about.
Well said. So, to all you listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Lorne Park. Until next time, keep exploring because you never know what you might find.